So we're gonna try this again. And as soon as somebody is in the room, I want you guys to let me know if my microphone is on, if you guys can hear me, all that good stuff. So today is Thursday, July 16th, 2020, and Barack Obama is still the most corrupt president in the history of the United States. Now that I've got that out of the way, whoever's in the room, I see 3 people in here. Just do me a favor. You hear me good, Marlon? Not too loud. Volume control's good. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you guys, and this is My Political Truth, and my name is Jerry Tomczynski. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming back. Marlon, thank you very much for the mic check 1 2 1 2. Yeah, I guess I came on initially and there was no volume. I just got this microphone yesterday, and I guess I am technically illiterate because it's taking me much longer than the plug and play option says. Plug and play. Yeah, not when you're 40 plus years old. Nothing's plug and play. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate the constant support. And we're going to jump right into it today. I want to talk about this disgusting and vile, despicable attack on the NYPD yesterday on the Brooklyn Bridge. So there was peaceful protesters on the Brooklyn Bridge, and the police showed up, and one of the policemen that happened to be there is NYPD Chief of Department Terrence Monahan. And Terrence Monahan is the only person in the upper echelon of the NYPD that has any kind of testicular fortitude. He was going back and forth, arguing or talking, whatever. They were yelling, and these savages were sticking a camera phone in his face, talking about, "I'm gonna make you famous. I'm gonna make you famous." Calling him the N-word. "I'm gonna make you famous." I mean, again, I will not take any of these people seriously if they continue to do this kind of thing. NYPD Chief of Department Terrence Monahan ends up with a broken thumb. I thought you guys were peaceful. Like, come on. Aren't you like embarrassed? Aren't you embarrassed? Every day there's a new story of savagery. Excuse me. Every day there's a new story of savagery. There's a new story about how one group of people attacked another group of people, and the only thing the media refers to is, "Oh, there was a man, 6'4", attacked another man." Whenever that happens, you could rest assured that it's not a white person attacking another white person, not because the media outlets are so racist or whatever the case, but because of identity politics. If you guys don't know what identity politics is, it's when you read a news story or hear a news story, right? And they start out the story with a white police officer from Montana killed a black perpetrator, or no, they won't even say perpetrator, I'm sorry, killed a black man, and they'll make it seem like the man was minding his business and that, you know, he didn't deserve what happened, and the white cop is wrong, and this, that, and the third. And I'm not talking about identity politics to talk about white cops being good or black perpetrators. I'm talking about the identity politics in the news. They report whatever fits their narrative and fits their criteria. That's it. That's it. Because when these drive-bys have been going on with, random kids getting killed in certain neighborhoods, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. If it's a black kid that got killed by, black gang members or a black shooter or whatever the case, you tell me if you see them even refer to the race on TV. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to come on here and say, hey, I was wrong. But I'm not. I read these articles, I listen to these reports, and they only say whatever fits their narrative, which is the exact reason CNN, MSLSD, they don't report this ridiculous violence going on across the country right now. Last night, there was another rash of shootings in New York City. I'm losing count. Listen, I hear a story today, and it's not a story. It kind of made me chuckle. There is a bleeding heart liberal that I know. Just an acquaintance. Nobody important or anything like that, but let me know that they're a liberal and they're a BLM supporter and that I'm a racist and all that good stuff. And come to find out today that this person moved out of their home, which was based in one of these cities. I'm not going to say which one. And moved up north away from, I guess the violence, the nonsense, the peaceful BLM people, they're so peaceful. So this person has repeatedly went on rampages about how I don't know what it's like to be that person or this person, and I don't know what it's like to be anybody but me. Truth be told. I don't know what it's like to be Marlon. I don't know what it's like to be Regina. I don't know what it's like to be Marina. Even though I'm Marina's son, I don't know what it's like to be her. And she doesn't know what it's like to be me. So, no, I don't know what it's like to be anybody else. But I do know one thing. You bleeding heart liberals are a disgrace. You're a disgrace. You come on and keyboard gangsters. Jerry, you're a racist and you're a white supremacist. And then when it comes to it, when the poop hits the fan, you head for the hills because the very people you're supporting would take you apart in 3 seconds flat if given the opportunity. Get what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter, it's a cute name and it's a great premise. But the organization is not about Black lives. They are a Marxist, communist organization that is, their number one goal is to bring down the capitalist United States and bring in a communist-run government, I guess. I mean, what are we gonna have? That freaking Hawk Newsom as a governor of some state? The guy's 43, hasn't moved out of his mom's house yet. Talking about, we don't want white people in the Bronx. Well, listen, Chief. The Bronx is made up of 45, this is off the top of my head, 45% white people. Even though it doesn't seem it. You got 45% white people, you got 20% black people, you got another 10% Hispanic or 15% Hispanic, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. New York City is a melting pot. We're all supposed to live together. That's what happened when I lived there. Everybody lived together. My God, you're talking about Republicans and conservatives being racist. It's not us. It's the Democrats, it's the liberals, it's the Marxists, it's the socialists, the communists. All of you are the racist ones. And you probably don't even know why. You guys have no idea what you're doing. And it's evident by the things that you say. Right? Let me give you an example. I've spoken about a certain morning show that I listen to on a regular basis, the Bernie and Sid morning show out of New York City, right? If you guys are interested, they're on every day, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., 770 WABC. There's an app. They have their own app, Bernie and Sid Show. They are amazing. They are wonderful. So they used to have this producer, and I don't know if she's still their producer, but she's been furloughed ever since coronavirus. And I just so happened to be friends with her on Facebook, and she posts something in the way of, she spoke to her friend that lives in, her sister, and this producer I'm talking about, her name is Jill Vitale. Okay, so I don't really care. I'm gonna call her out because she was the producer of this morning show, this Common Sense morning show. Now, one of them is a super duper Trump supporter, which is Bernie McGurk, and I love him. I think he's great. The other one is Sid Rosenberg, and he's more kind of centered. He voted for Hillary in 2016, but he came over to the Trump train ever since then, right? So the producer, Jill Vitale, posts something to the effect of that she spoke to her sister who lives in Florida, and she's just so scared for her sister's health and well-being. And then I go and comment. I said, I don't know if you heard, Jill, you've been out of the news loop since you got laid off, but the story came out that things in Florida aren't as they appear. And I'm going to venture a guess and to say that it's the same in the other 49 states. But I digress. I'm not going to go into that today. So she proceeds to respond with, well, all of you conservatives don't want to believe what's really going on. You just want to jump on your conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories? Nothing about what I'm saying is a conspiracy. It was proven that over 300 testing stations in Florida reported strictly 100% positive results. I mean, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I know that if you get 10 people to take a certain exam or a certain health test or a certain test, there's not going to be 10 identical results. You know, even if, you know, let's expand it. Maybe 10 people can have identical results. Let's expand it to 100. 100 people will not have the same results. So, and she said that something to the effect of, you conservatives you guys want to believe that it's a hoax because it'll get your president reelected. Well, first of all, princess, I never said it was a hoax. This is actually very, very serious. And I'm not talking about coronavirus being serious. I'm talking about China dropping a biological weapon here. And that biological weapon is called COVID-19. Make no mistake. This was a setup backed by the deep state. Get it? I'm going to repeat that. This was a setup backed by the deep state. When I say deep state, you know who I mean. Obama, Biden, Clinton, Pelosi, Schumer, Nadler, Schiff, Romney. Yeah, let's bring Romney into it. Absolutely. And if you don't believe that something is wrong, then you're the one with the problem, not me. Okay? And if you don't believe you have a problem, and if you don't believe that you're ever wrong, then you have a bigger problem than we anticipated. And while I'm on this topic of conservatives and liberals, so I guess like 15, 16 years ago, Chris Rock came out with one of his stand-ups. And back then, Chris Rock was funny. And I remembered a skit that he did on one of his stand-ups. And this is talking about politics and people's blind allegiance to certain parties. And I quote, the whole country, and sorry, I'm going to censor the F-bombs because, like I said, I'm still trying to keep the streak of not cursing. So, I will begin the quote. The whole country has an effed up mentality. We all got a gang mentality. Republicans are effing idiots. Democrats are idiots. Liberals are idiots. Conservatives are idiots. Anyone that makes up their mind before hearing the issue is an effing fool. Everybody is so concerned about being part of a gang. It's BS. Be an effing person. Listen to the issue. Let it swirl around in your head. Then form an opinion. No normal or decent person is one particular thing. And he finishes up with this. I got some things I'm conservative about, and I got some things I'm liberal about. End quote. That right there was spot on. Spot on. But he would never say that today. He would never, ever say that today because A, he's a liberal celeb. B, I'm sure he's a coward. And his bank account means more to him than standing up for a cause. And right now, I'm sorry, but this cause and what's going on in this country trumps, pardon the pun, trumps your bank account. All you celebs and all you DC slime bags that have been in DC for years, decades, and have done nothing, this all rests on your shoulders. Get it? This all rests on your shoulders. I mean, I've spoken to Democrats and liberals, and I have a lot of Democrat and liberal friends. I mean, they're not that friendly anymore, but listen, that's their choice, not mine. And it's really difficult to have a conversation with these people because the minute you start inserting facts, they turn to insults immediately, if not sooner, because they can't come at you with facts. Excuse me. They can't come at me with facts. They haven't come at me with facts. I did an entire, on my first week of doing this, I dropped an entire show on why I support President Trump. You know what? I think I'm going to do another one because I didn't have, excuse me, I didn't have the amount of people in the group that I do now. I didn't have the amount of people watching me after the fact. So I think I'll do another broadcast about why I support President Trump above all else, above anybody else. Okay? So the next thing I want to get into, and this really, really got to me. It would appear that America is being okay with anti-Semitism. It's okay for a celebrity to come out and say something anti-Semitic. Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver for the Eagles, came out and said some things about Jews and white people. And the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, what's his last name, Laurie, he's Jewish. He said nothing. Nothing. It's the liberal Jews that are the worst culprit, by the way. By the way. Then this princess, Nick Cannon, comes out and says some despicable things. Despicable things. But he's not anybody I take seriously because he's trash. He's always been trash. He's been a trash actor. He's been a trash host, and we all know he's a trash rapper because we know what M did to him. But so he comes out and he says these despicable things, and I'm purposely not going to quote him because he does not deserve his words to be repeated here. If you're so concerned with what he said and if I'm lying or not, Google it. Get out of my face. I'm not going to talk about or repeat the despicable things that this scumbag said. Okay? And then, after he gets called out for it, which surprised the ever-loving hell out of me, because nobody stands up for Jews, for white people, for Asians. Nobody. Nobody even stands up for Latinos or Indians or Hindus or Pakistanis or Middle Eastern people that live in this country. Nobody. I'm sorry. If you want the truth, you've come to the right place. Nobody stands up for you unless the color of your skin is black and you are recognized as a black person. And that's not to say that that doesn't happen regularly. I'm saying right now. Right now. And I think, and my opinion is, everybody should have a fair shake and stand on the same ground and pay the same damn consequences. You kidding me? I'm nobody, right? Literally. Not famous, I'm not a celebrity, not a politician. However, on this platform, if I come out and say something as despicably racist as Nick Cannon said, you can bet I'll be shut down inside of 10 hours. Because A, the snowflakes, they're going to go and tell right away, ooh, I'm going to report you to Mark Zuckerberg, another self-hating, self-deprecating Jew. You liberal Jews are going to be the death of this country. Okay? The death of this country. You're despicable. You're worse than the culprits. You're worse than the culprits because you put your head down like a freaking ostrich into the sand and don't say a damn thing as long as the money's right. Right? That's all we care about. That's all we care about is the money. Well, you see where that's gotten us? This country is out of control. Out of control. You know, they're so worried about changing the name of the Redskins and the Cleveland Indians and the Atlanta Braves and the Texas Rangers. But they're not worried about the 15 women that came out today and alleged sexual harassment in the workplace while working for the Washington Redskins. The Washington Redskins. I will not refer to them as anything other than the Washington Redskins because I am 41 years old. I'm a Giants fan. For the entirety of my life, they have been the Washington Redskins. So nobody, I saw it on maybe 2 news outlets this afternoon about these 15 women. Now, let me read this to you. They alleged sexual harassment in the workplace from 2006 to 2019. And this ranges from inappropriate remarks about female employees' bodies to their clothing to moments of even verbal abuse. Several allegations outlined by the Washington Post, and the Washington Post reported this. So, I mean, come on. They lie about everything, and they never talk about the issue at hand. But if they're going to report this, I'm going to have to take it seriously. Number one, because it's sexual harassment and sexual abuse allegation. And unlike the liberals, I take that seriously. Okay? And we're not going to hear about this because any journalist worth their salt would come with a backup, a follow-up question to these liberals. If say you go to, and I'm not going to say Joe Biden because A, he's a puppet, B, he's shot mentally. Let's say we go to somebody that's somewhat with it, right? Let's say we go to Schumer and we say, Senator Schumer, have you heard about these allegations about the 15 women that were harassed at the workplace by the Washington Redskins top echelon people? He said, yeah, it's a terrible thing and we should always listen to the women, blah, 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 what they usually say. And then with a follow-up question, the journalist should say, well, okay, yeah, if that's the case, why didn't we give the same time or the same attention to Tara Reade when she came and accused Joe Biden? We haven't heard anything about that at all. I know I haven't. If anybody here watching this has heard anything further about the Tara Reade Joe Biden situation, by all means, please let me know. Please, please, please let me know. I'm very, very interested in that. Okay, moving along to my final topic of the day. And this is something that I am going to delve into more as time goes on. And this is why I asked this morning on my post if in this group or anybody that follows me, anybody that follows the group, anybody that's friends with me on Facebook, if any of you out there are gay, lesbian, trans, and are on the conservative side a little bit and not really for the agenda they're pushing right now, please get in touch with me. I want to give you your shine. I want to give you your spotlight because what's going on in the LGBTQ community is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. So let me read this to you. New York City teacher friend of mine sent me this, and this comes straight from the New York City Department of Education website. The liberal Democrats push this agenda on the students and have implemented a curriculum which gears focus onto the kids questioning themselves and their sexuality rather than the real reason kids are in school, for academic growth. The LGBTQ community is the very community that mostly, not all, loathe Donald Trump. So therefore, many more will vote blue and will vote for the very people that have controlled their minds, and that's the right party for them. Once they get to manipulating all of them, that is when their world will end. And listen up close to all my gay, lesbian, and trans friends. And I do have friends that are of that side, okay? I'm not a savage. I'm friends with everybody. I have all kinds of friends, shapes, colors, sizes, sexual orientations, sexual confusions, doesn't matter. If you're a good person, we can be friends. We could chop it up, even if we don't agree. That's what makes life fun. Talking to people that don't agree with you, but can have a civilized adult conversation. So, let me get back to this. The left, little by little, is taking away our constitutional rights. And Ilhan Omar corrupted and made the Democrat Party believe she has their best interest at heart. Do you know the saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer? Came from The Godfather. Well, yeah. Well, that's what she's doing, and you liberal sheep are allowing it. Muslim Sharia law, which is the law of God, and God comes before man. So in essence, if you vote blue and we lose our rights, Sharia law gets passed. And the very community of LGBTQ will be beheaded. That's right, beheaded. Thrown off roofs, stoned, because under Sharia law, it is a sin to be anything other than a heterosexual man or woman. Hey, Nick. Not to mention, men can legally abuse the women in their lives. Legally. So domestic violence wouldn't really be a thing. It would just be another night in a certain household, if this comes to pass. So be proud of creating an organization that you have shown the world who you are, and now you've become a target of where to find you, to out you. When sometimes silence is golden, nobody told you not to do. Nobody told you not to live. You just feel the need to shove your beliefs down everyone's throat, and as a result, it will backfire. Time to wise up and stop being sheep. Listen to the policies. Listen to somebody's stance. Just listen. You don't have to agree. Nobody said you have to agree. But listen. Take in somebody else's opinion. I mean, you need to. Because if you don't, your life is going to be overrun by people that have absolutely no right telling you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. We live in a free country. Okay? Now, contrary to popular belief, we don't live in a democracy. We technically live in a constitutional republic. You understand that? If you don't know what a constitutional republic is, look it up. But that is the government we live by. We live and die by the Constitution. We live and die by our freedoms. And nobody, not Democrat, not a Muslim, not somebody that supports Sharia law, is going to come and take away our freedoms, my freedoms, your freedoms, our ability for independent thought, our ability to choose who we love, who we spend our life with. Not somebody that's forced down our throat because of some antiquated beliefs. How dare you come and try to shove your garbage down our throats? The same garbage you escaped from the same country that abused you, your mom, your sisters, the same country that allowed you to marry your brother, Omar. God, I didn't want to get angry during this thing, but thinking about this and actually using reasoning skills and logic and running it through my brain, which is like a filter, and then letting it all kind of translate to my layman's side, I don't understand how any of you can vote blue. I don't get it. I don't get it. You guys are despicable. You're disgusting. Anybody that can vote for a modern day Democrat is psychotic. I will say it for day 3 in a row. You should be checked into a mental institution if you vote for a Democrat today. Okay? I'm going to finish this off like I do every night with a quote. And this is from one of my favorite people in the world, in history, Maya Angelou. You should be angry. You must not be bitter. Bitterness is like cancer. It eats upon the host. It doesn't do anything to the object or its displeasure. So use that anger. You write it, you paint it, you dance it, you march it, you vote it. You do everything about it. You talk it. Never stop talking it. And with that, thank you very much. Have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have some new garbage to talk about. Love you guys. Have a great night.